Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter with spoilers. Okay, here's my movie ticket. Okay, you can see that Abraham Lincoln. Okay, like many of you, I saw the trailer for this and say Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I gotta see this. Okay, first of all, let me say this movie. This movie's pretty bad. um, just some things. It's almost, and it's not. I don't think it's the fault of the actors themselves. I think the people that starred in this movie, like I said, Benjamin Walker, who plays Abraham Lincoln, he's good. Dominic West, who plays Ben. Let me make sure I get his name right. He plays Henry Sturgis. I'm sorry. Uh, Sort of a mentor to Abraham Lincoln. He shows him how to fight vampires. Then you have Anthony Mackie as Abraham Lincoln's childhood friend. Uh, Will Johnson, and then you have Mary Elizabeth White as Mary Todd Lincoln. Okay, and then you have, of course, you have Rufus Sewell as the, I guess, head vampire. He's pretty good, and like I said, the actors themselves are good. They play it straight, but that's not the story. Is just this to some point, no, the story itself, the way they try to tie it in with history, that part is good. But some of the absurd things that happen in it are it's just ridiculous. And I'll tell you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean by that. There's a great sequence where Abraham Lincoln is a grown man. Well, let me just back up a little bit. Uh, if you see in the trailer, as you've seen, if you watch the trailer to this movie, you're seeing that Abraham Lincoln, from the time he was a little boy, he saw his mother being bitten by a vampire. Of course, he wants revenge. So when he grows up, he like 9 years, they show him grow up as a young man. He tries to kill the gentleman he thinks is responsible for killing his mother. Of course, but not knowing that this gentleman is actually a vampire, and he gets saved because this vampire is getting ready to kill him, but he gets saved by this Henry Sturgis character played by Dominic Cooper, who then goes on to show him the ways, tells him basically there's vampires in the world, and this is how you're going to kill them. And I'm going to train you, but you must, you must only want it. You only have to do it. You have to do it as I say. You can't do it strictly for revenge. Okay, that's what he basically tells him. So he's an apprentice, for this Henry Sturgis character. He goes around in between working in this general store and doing all the other history making things, being in debates and everything else. In his spare time at night, of course, he's killing vampires with his axe, with his, it's ridiculous. But hey, this is what the movie is. So, like I said, but that's not the part that was totally absurd to me. This part, and if I was high, this movie would be I would be laughing I'd have been laughing my ass off, to especially this one part. Lincoln catches up after he's been a vampire hunter for a while. He catches up to the head, not the head vampire, but the vampire that actually attacked his mother and killed his mother. So he's chasing the guy. His mentor Henry Sturgis finally gives him permission to kill the head vampire, not the head vampire, the vampire that killed his mother. So as he's doing this, he's chasing the guy. He got his wicked axe. He's swinging the axe. He's missing. And then all of a sudden, there's a stampede of horses, wild horses, mind you. And this vampire is being chased. He jumps on one of the horses and takes off. Of course, Lincoln in hot pursuit with his axe swinging. And somewhere during the fight, Lincoln swinging at him. He's missing, ducking, everything else. He gets Lincoln, knocks him off his horse, and he picks up a horse. He physically picks up a horse and throws it at Lincoln. And not only throws it at Lincoln, he actually hits Lincoln with the horse. Okay, I ain't talking about he brushed him aside. He threw a full-grown horse at Lincoln, and he actually hit him with it. And of course, Lincoln, being the awesome vampire slayer that he is, apparently being super strong and being able to sustain a hit by a horse thrown by a real strong, powerful vampire, gets right up and keeps pursuing this vampire. And I said, oh my God, now you get ridiculous. Okay, and there's another sequence towards the end of the movie where basically Anthony Mackie, who plays his childhood friend of Abraham Lincoln, uh, Will Johnson, him and Abe Lincoln, Benjamin Walker are on top of the train fighting off vampires. And basically, it's a moving train, mind you, a moving train at night, an elevated train. It's moving, but yet they're still perfectly balanced, killing vampires. Okay, maybe I'm nitpicking, but even though it defies logic. But maybe I'm nitpicking with that. And also, the other part that's got to be absolutely ridiculous to me was the fact that Will Johnson, his childhood friend, of course, was black, and this is the 1850s, 1860s. He's Lincoln's close advisor. Okay, he's in the White House. Apparently, he even shows up at Lincoln's wedding. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love when black actors get a chance to act, and I'm grateful for Anthony Mackie. He's a good actor. He was great in Hurt Locker, but come on, come on. There's no way in the world he's going to be Lincoln's right hand man. I don't know if it was like that in the book that the movie was based on. I don't think it was, but I didn't read the book, so I can't say that for sure. But come on, he's basically Lincoln's right hand man. Once Lincoln reunites with him, he's basically Lincoln's right hand man. And I said, wait a minute. But I think I said to myself, well, maybe I'm just nitpicking. I know it's the 1850s, 1860s, and black people were treated like crap back then. So it'd be no problem for Lincoln to have an advisor that's black that's always around. But hey, like I said, maybe they just thought maybe they'd be unpolitically correct by having Anthony Mackie in that role, so that way it wouldn't look. And they thought maybe they'd get a bigger audience that way. But I thought it was sort of silly. I mean, whoever's writing the story could at least try to be historical. And they were actually pretty good about the historical accuracy of Lincoln. They showed major events in Lincoln's life, his Gettysburg Address. There's just a bunch of stuff that's just absolutely silly. That part was good. The historical accuracy part was good. They tied into the Gettysburg Address and his debates with his debates with geez, I can't remember the guy's name. It'll come to me and I'll put it in the video here. Jefferson Davis. I'm sorry, Jefferson Davis. Yeah, his debates with him. But come on, and there's another part towards the end of the movie that even gets more absurd, where Mary Elizabeth Whitehead, she's, after they defeated the vampires and they delivered the silver to the North, to the soldiers, so they melt it down and use it as bullets and stuff, and they kill all the Union soldiers that are really vampires, and they triumph over everybody else, and they're wrapping up. You think the movie's over and everything else, but the head vampire who has gotten killed earlier by Lincoln, he had a sister with him, and of course she sees Lincoln's wife, and then she wants revenge, of course, for her brother getting killed. So she's running in slow motion, of course. That's the only way to run. Even though vampires are supposed to be super fast, towards Mary Lincoln. And Mary Lincoln has time to reach back, grab her gun, and put some gunpowder in it, and then take the little silver toy gun that her son had that her son who got murdered by this sister of them, she actually bit him, and so he died. I forgot to put that in there. Okay, so of course, but she doesn't know that Mary Lincoln doesn't know that. She knows at that point that a vampire killed her son, but she doesn't know which one did it. Okay, but she has time to put the silver toy pistol chain on the chain into her gun belt, and then shoot the vampire, and get it just before it gets to her, and it goes flying in the air. And this lands. Come on, this movie. Come on, it's just. I say this movie will probably be a cult classic, in that. Because I like the level of violence, and when Lincoln's swinging that axe, Benjamin Walker is a total badass with that axe. I don't know how long he trained with that, but he's a total badass with that axe. And the killings he did in the movie were absolutely fantastic. But the story is just, this movie, was it worth a rental? Sure, it was worth a rental, but I don't think it's worth going to the movie theater. And I think it's getting killed in the box office anyway this weekend by Brave, which I still went and saw that. But this movie probably want to be in a cult, one of these movies that people watch just to laugh at the absurdity of it and stuff. And I kid you not, when you see that scene of Lincoln picking up, not Lincoln, it was a vampire picking up the horse, a full-grown horse, mind you, and throwing it at Lincoln and not missing him, actually hitting Lincoln with the horse, and then Lincoln bounces right back up, and you go, oh, didn't he just get hit by a horse? Oh my God, that's totally ridiculous. But like I said, maybe, like I said, I never read the book, so I don't know how much the book differentiates. And like I said, the part, with Anthony Mackie, who plays his good friend, but still he's an African American back then in the 1850s, 1860s, and he's rolling with Lincoln. He's everywhere with Lincoln, which not that part isn't accurate. I mean, everything else they actually tied in all these major events in Lincoln's life. They actually tied it in, and I have to say, it still looks incredibly wacky when he, after a certain point in the movie, he gets his beard and his, Lincoln grows the beard and he looks like the president looks like, now, and just to see him battling vampires is just, it's just almost surreal, seeing Lincoln actually fight, which is kick-ass fighter anyway. But I guess, like I said, he must be, since he's the chosen one, maybe he gets those Buffy powers, where Buffy was super strong and she could, take punches and stuff and hit back hard. So maybe Abraham Lincoln, since he was the chosen vampire hunter, maybe he got mystical powers out of nowhere. So maybe that's what it is. So that's why I had to put spoilers in it, because I had to let you know what I exactly thought about this movie. And like I said, don't waste your money going to see it. If you want to rent it, rent it. I mean, wait till it gets on video and then rent it or something. And I may buy the Blu-ray of it just because, like I said, I like I like the vampires getting killed, and Lincoln swinging that axe was pretty kick-ass. It's just that the other parts of the story was just, come on, some of the story elements in it was just absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, fighting vampires on top of a moving train. I mean, and not falling off. Okay, you spend disbelief for that, but come on. Then Lincoln's friend, like I said, Anthony Mackie, who plays, Will Johnson, of course, out of nowhere, since he never trained with a master, he has great vampire killing skills, which is just incredible. Okay, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave your comments down below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.